but I do remember that I was on top of that little chair and I was scanned into those imaginary audiences. And even though I hated Little Prince, I wasn't a fan of that piece of literature, but it wasn't the point. The point was that I really, really liked the fact of speaking in the audience without even recognizing that.
Hello, Alexandra. Welcome.
Oh, hello, Patricia. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much for joining me. Yes. How are you?
I'm doing very well. I'm very excited for our session tonight. I've been looking forward to it for at least a week. It's finally happening, so I'm very happy.
Yes, I'm happy that you're sharing my excitement. So excited. Okay, dear friend at home, Alexandra is a speaker I came across for the first time while I was binge watching the World Championship of Public Speaking in August 2021. Afterwards, we met again, right, Alexandra, at the Beyond Words Toastmasters Club, where you were delivering a new speech, and it moved me so deeply that I had to reach out to you, and we've been communicating ever since. And lucky for me, and lucky for you at home, Alexandra gracefully accepted to come hang out with us today. Woo! Who is Alexandra Shirokova? She is an avid international enthusiast, economist, and project manager by training, and a storyteller by calling. Originally from Moscow, Russia, Alexandra moved to Canada to explore the career of economics and international development. And while doing so, she discovered the hidden gifts of public speaking. She is currently the president of the Creativity Plus Ottawa Toastmasters Club, a member of a French club that is called Les Mozarts, and of a Spanish club, Hasta Pronto. She is also a two-time international speech contest winner for District 61. And this past August 2021, Alexandra was a semi-finalist of the World Championship of Public Speaking. Let me give you some background. If you're not from the Toastmasters world, I will translate what I just explained to you about the semi-finalists. We had about 360,000 Toastmasters members worldwide in 2021. 30,000 contestants battled for the title of World Champion of Public Speaking, which is a title that transforms lives. And Alexandra competed and won speaking contests at the club level, area level, district level, all the way until she climbed to the semifinals during the World Championship. That is top 28 out of 30,000 contestants. And they were all outstanding speakers in the whole wide world. Okay, I think you get the point. Let's dive right in. Do you mind if I call you Sasha? I'm so used to calling you Sasha.
Yes. Please go ahead. Sasha is my nickname. Let's go.
Okay, thank you. Can you tell us a little bit about pre-Toastmasters, Alexandra or Sasha, as a young girl, teenager, and a young adult? What was it like to be in her shoes?
Oh, thank you, Patricia. It's a very interesting question. So I had no connection with Toastmasters or the world of public speaking whatsoever. But one thing which was always with me was that passion to perform. And sometimes when they ask, well, what's that distinct, memory from your past or from your childhood? I have one particular that imprinted in my mind, my heart. And my parents were not at home. I was in Moscow and I was in the kitchen. And I was part of a school section on theater. And they made us recite Antoine de Saint-Exupéry, The Little Prince. And so there I was in the kitchen and I had this little taboret and I put it in the middle of the kitchen. I climbed on top of that. And I don't remember what I was reciting, but I do remember that I was on top of that little chair and I was scanned into those imaginary audiences. And even though I hated Little Prince, I wasn't a fan of that piece of literature, but it wasn't the point. The point was that I really, really liked the fact of speaking in the audience without even recognizing that. So this is like a distinct memory that I always come back to when I think about my path and maybe my calling in life. I always think back to it. However, it's a very isolated episode. And as I continued with my life, the disciplines that I studied, which was economics, and then moving to Canada, it delineated me a little bit or pushed me away from the world of public speaking per se. And especially when I moved to Canada and I had to find my new identity and master the language to such an extent that I could express myself in, truly build your new identity, be able to say the jokes, be able to express yourself, automatically translate the thoughts that come to your mind into the English language. So this was a very long journey. And actually, maybe around 7 years ago, I did hit the rock bottom because I always thought that, probably I'm more confident and I like talking in public and it's my thing, it's my trait. I was pretty good at it when I was in the university in Moscow, but in Canada, it was a completely different story. It wasn't working out. And I started developing a lot of complexes and I became so shy and so unconfident. And it was this dissonance, inside of me. My passion was feeling like, I need to express myself and I am made for speaking in the audience and the public. But, in reality, it wasn't the case. Yeah. And so one day, actually, there was a specific instance when I was at work and we had a roundtable discussion where they either asked us to introduce ourselves or provide some feedback on the question. And I have done so miserably. I was shaking. It's crazy. I was sweating. I was shaking. I became red. I was like a little steam train. It was terrible. And so at that moment, that particular day, I said that, okay, this has to stop and I need to do something about it. So I guess, so Toastmasters helped me to reconnect, with that inner passion, but which I always had inside of me, but I somehow lost it along the way. But luckily, I found a way to come back to that at some point.
Okay. Oh, wow. So exciting. So basically at that moment, so then that's what pushed you to go visit the first Toastmasters club, right? Can you tell us about the first time you visited the club?
Yes. I am one of those people who loves the new year and who loves New Year resolutions. I'm very intentional about them. I love them. I believe in them. I stick to them. And actually, it was January, probably 2nd of 2018, when I made a commitment that, okay, this is it. This new year, I'm starting, I'm growing. This year, I'm growing. So I found the local Toastmasters club here in Ottawa, in Canada. I headed there to the meeting. I was mortified, but I also was very, very excited. I remember we had this round, those times when things were not online and we still were meeting, right? Remember those?
Actually, I was not part of it. I joined virtually, so I love that you were able to be there physically.
Oh my gosh. That's crazy, actually. You miss out. You miss out. Hopefully you get a taste of the physical meeting. But in those old good days when we had physical meetings, so there was a big round table in the community center and people were sitting there. And what I noticed first was that when people were given interventions, they were always getting up to say something. And everybody spoke so eloquently, so nicely. And they seemed to have this never-ending source of creativity and inspiration, coming up with stuff on the spot. And to my earlier point, I was mortified, but I also was fascinated and I thought, wow, everybody speaks so well. And of course, there was a roundtable introduction where they also asked guests to come to get up and to introduce themselves and say a few words. I was invited to introduce myself. It was very scary, but I remember I was almost jumping from excitement. I was saying, I don't know anything about this space, but I'm so excited. And yeah, I actually carried this excitement throughout the years and I still love it.
Wow. Yes. Yes, I still remember it's funny when I think back of when I first joined the club too. I'm part of it was the Words on Wings. This is my club that I'm a part of, and it's funny that's kind of excitement and terror that get mixed up together. Even till this day, when I have to give a speech, I still have a bit of this panic, this stress, and I heard that even from really professional champions, even people like yourself, it never goes away because when you're really passionate about what you're about to share, there's still this kind of anxiety that comes with it. but then we know how to control it better. And then there's the excitement. And anyhow, I totally understand what you're saying.
Well, in the world, you are very passionate about personal development, right? And so they say that in the personal development space, even when you're scared, but you are really, really excited, that's the place that you need to go. That's where your growth will lie. So don't be blinded by the fear. It's more the excitement, because something good is awaiting for you on the other end. And we share that feeling, right? When I say I joined Toastmasters, exactly like you say, it's very scary, but it's going to be good. There's something really good about it. I don't know how I'm going to get there, but I know it's going to be good.
Yes. With perseverance, there's just no way around it when we do the work. So, and we have the right tools.
That's true.
Okay. So from there, before I get to that speech, let me ask you, so now you're gaining confidence, you joined Toastmasters, and you're excited and terrified at the same time, but you're having a good time. What made you want to choose to start competing from there?
The belief of others, quite honestly. I am forever grateful that in my club, it's the French club Les Mozarts, I had a particular mentor, a very great man. And like in this very, very popular speech of one Toastmaster who said, I see something in you. My mentor saw something in me. And he was insistent and saying, Sasha, you need to go to compete. And at the time, it was very convincible. I knew no idea what contests are. I believed him. And he said, just go. I knew nothing. What's a contest speech? What are the parameters? What's a contest? I just know that they happen. And he's like, don't worry, I'll bring you there. I trusted him. And he drove me. I remember he drove me to the first contest. Again, as I said, I only recited my speech. I had no idea. And we came to the university, and he opened the door to a huge lecture hall, and I see the chairs and desks going down, 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 and I was like, oh my God, I had no idea. It was a horrible feeling. He was happy. He was laughing at me because he was so excited. He probably saw the journey that it's always easier to be on the passenger seat, right? And just watch and record. It was terrible, but I'm very, very grateful that I met someone along the way who encouraged me to do that, and encouraged me to develop the skills, to develop the talents, and tap into that space, because you really don't know what is contest experience and how it will open you up unless you go there and you participate. It's a treasure trove what you discover along the way. And we can go more into that, but I always recommend people to compete, because the learnings you get out from it, from the process, from others, from speech writing, the things you learn about yourself, your nerves, your presentation, it's revolutionary. And who would have thought that it's only by presenting just one speech?
Yes. Bravo, bravo. You had the courage.
Bravo.
There's one thing with somebody encouraging you, but you actually you put yourself out there to do it. So that's amazing. I haven't had the chance yet. I just joined. I'm just at my level 2 of my presentation mastery pathway. I will do it as soon as I get a chance. I just got distracted with YouTube. So you see, I can blame YouTube. You distracted me. But yes, I will definitely do it, because it sounds like it's a life-changing experience. So definitely, I'd love to do it. Okay, now we have to go to your contest speech, your World Championship semi-finalist speech. I have to say, Sasha, that I was rooting because I was sick. I've mentioned this in some other interviews, but I was sick. So I was supposed to go away, but I was stuck at home. And I literally watched the entire, I would have never had the chance to sit there in front of my computer to watch all those speeches. There are a lot of speeches. I watched them all, okay? And I was rooting when we got to your group of 8, actually, right? Because you were competing with another, 7 other participants. And I was rooting for you for different reasons. I will list them to you. So first thing, my club, Words on Wings, is part of the same district as yours, District 61. So is the best district, by the way.
I agree.
Yes. So I was rooting for you because you're representing my district. Second of all, you're a female. Okay. So because often I find that in the public speaking world, we don't have that many women that make it there, depending on the years. But I find that it's been dominated by male, and now more and more over the last few years, we've had many female champions. And the third one, I love your speech, Scarlett Sails, so much. I was mesmerized by your performance and storytelling skills. It was such a beautiful message. I don't want to give any spoilers, so you need to go watch it at home. Can you share with us how you find your stories and also what motivates you to share such inspirational messages with your audience?
Thank you, Patricia. I have a very specific approach when it comes to my stories. I try to find my stories in my heart. And these are usually the big moments that scratched my heart, and they stay there for life. And that's why I approach speech writing very seriously, maybe differently. For me, it's an opportunity to share the message that's truly dear to me, and I want others to know about it. They mean something to me, my speeches. At least when I compete in the contest space, that's what I go for. I want to have something that's impactful, that means for me, the message that I feel like I need to share. And it was quite funny how I have come up with this speech, because obviously I've been thinking about the subject matter in my childhood teenage love story. And one day I was actually competing with a different speech in the contest. So I was winning a few rounds, but with a different speech. Okay. And while that speech was right, I guess, from the format standpoint, in terms of the structure, intro, and a few tricks that you included along the way, something didn't feel right. It didn't feel like that's the speech coming from my soul. Mm-hmm. And I was talking to my mom, and like a lightning bolt, all of a sudden, my love story came up. And I said to my mom, I'm going to write about that. And I had not a single doubt that that's the right one. I had no single doubt. I knew that this is a message that I need to share, regardless where I get in the contest round. I just knew it is right, and I honored myself. And I guess that's my secret sauce. I try to honor myself, and whatever is important for me at my current stage in life, I put that in speeches. Sometimes they happen to be said ones. Sometimes they don't happen to be very positive, but they reflect the transition and the state of my mind and my soul, my spirit. And that's how I'm being guided. That's how I approach my speech writing.
I love that. I've never heard anybody say this before. And from the heart, like I've heard, we've heard many different speakers, like, yes, it's from their life stories, the everyday events, but from the heart, I find this beautiful. And I totally concur with that, because the messages that I share as well, it is from my heart when I think about it. So I love this. You see, we're kindred spirits.
Yes. And, because everybody in our soul, we have special moments that are imprinted there, that are dear. Sometimes they hurt, right? For me, for example, it's a story about someone who I really liked, and he never knew. Right. It's also, there's another hidden story about the friendship that I always appreciated my entire life. But again, it kind of ended at a certain stage, and I have very warm feelings about it. So maybe even a lot of these stories come from childhood, but every single person has something like that. And I feel that once you share something from your heart, it's more powerful. That we all have the same pains and feelings and worries. And once you become more vulnerable and actually say, hey, that really hurt, or hey, I really regret the outcome and I wish I could change that, people connect.
Yes, that's a universal message. Absolutely. So, which brings me to my next question. If our viewer right now is filled with creative ideas and dreams, but they are surrounded by people who criticize, discourage them, or bring them down, what advice would you like to give them right now?
Change the people around you. I think it's very, very important, because if you feel, why would you hang out with the people who bring you down and spoil your energy? And if you feel like you are on the right path and you're doing something that is dear to you, dear to your heart, and it's your calling, you need to find your tribe and find those who will elevate you, help you grow, encourage you, and actually share more of what you want to accomplish. And it's just the way things are. That's why we progress and accomplish things when we join different thematic groups and we find our tribe and we can bounce off ideas and we share the same vision, we share the same passion and excitement, right? And we speak the same language. So it's very unfortunate if that's the reality for some people when they're surrounded by those who don't share the vision. In the very least, it's important to find a few friends who do share. You're one of my friends like this, and that's why I appreciate having you in my life. Because when I need
no, that's what you are to me. Sorry. That's what you're to me. You're, yes, absolutely. You're one of my cheerleaders. You're always so encouraging when I doubt myself and I have my insecurities that come up. I always know that you can bring me back up. So it's just wonderful to have someone like this. But sometimes you're absolutely right, because I made a point myself of only surrounding myself with positive people. I've had to deal with more toxic relationships or more of those people in the past, but those days are over. But sometimes for some people, it's part of people that they cannot get rid of, their family members, etc. So then what would you tell them in those cases?
I would say just then filter what you're sharing with those people. If you feel like a certain family member is not aligned with you on a vision on, I don't know, public speaking or whatnot, I don't know, your career, just don't share that particular subject with them, not to trigger them, and find other themes that you can talk about. And if your career or public speaking is really important to you, find other friends on the side. I think it's just it's a balancing act, what you're sharing. And if you know that you know your message or your vision will not fall on the right ears and will not facilitate the right reaction, just don't go there, and find others. Maybe that's the beauty of friendships, because every friend or connection or a colleague gives you, it's like part of the mosaic, and they fill in different parts of your life, and you go to different people to get, as you like to say, to get your love tank filled, right? And you feel it by
quoting me.
I know. Yeah. I really like it. And you fill yourself up with different people, different insights, and you're complete. Because maybe it's unreasonable even to expect from one person or from your entire family to be fully aligned with you. We all had different experiences, different traumas, different visions. We're different zodiac signs, for God's sake. We're different. So it's unreasonable to expect everything in one package. And for some it works out, but for those who it doesn't work out for, go and find somebody else on the side who will complete you.
Yes, I totally agree with you. And also there comes the importance of creating boundaries, because just yesterday I was speaking to a young girl that I how can I say, just a lovely girl, because I have a daughter and I have stepdaughters, so a few of their friends actually come to me for advice, and one of them is actually dealing with a very problematic situation with her father. So obviously it's hey, you know who you are. And so basically it's just she's stuck. She's 18 years old. Where do you want her to go? So I'm trying to encourage her to create boundaries, to be able to protect herself, and to get the tools so at least she can protect herself mentally, psychologically, and find the strength to deal with that very difficult relationship. So I totally agree with everything you just said.
And actually, that's a great point, and a great message that you're trying to instill in her, to be able to fight for what you think is right, to be able to say no, to rise up to what you feel like is right for you, draw those boundaries, being more intentional, right? Taking your destiny or your daily life in your hands and deciding, hey, this works for me and this doesn't. And if it doesn't, I'll find the way to make it work. So this deliberation, right, and strength, you're essentially helping her to strengthen the character, which is really great.
Yes, definitely. Because we have some Toastmasters watching us right now, if you can give them some advice to help them on their journey to become memorable storytellers, what would you like to tell them, Sasha?
Sasha, who is finding speeches in her heart, would say, find your unique style and stick to that. I am a believer that we shouldn't fall in the trap of cookie cutter presentation. And I think it's very important to be yourself. There are different types of speakers, and it's lovely that Toastmasters offers that opportunity. Everybody is a different presenter and different speaker. Some are motivational, some are more calming and more preachy lecture type speakers. Some are philosophical. The range is so diverse. And I think that everybody should find where they belong and stick to that. Because often it's not about winning the contests. It's not just about following the path that seems like the monopath, one and only way. There can be multiple ways. And I am a rebel. I am a believer that if you find your style, if you stick to your message, if you share something that's, again, dear to your heart, you're passionate about that, if you don't betray yourself, that's the victory. That would be my, thank you. That would be my advice, because again, winning contests is not be all and end all. It's a nice to have if you win along the way, but what's even nicer is that you find self-fulfillment, you find yourself, you express yourself and your soul. You basically find the right words and the right style to channel your soul. That's what it is. That's what public speaking is.
Yes.
So I'll just say, stick to your style. It's not about the winning. It's about your journey to self-fulfillment.
Absolutely. And everyone, it's really interesting. In a club, it's so diversified. We have so many different individuals from different walks of life. And we're all there for different reasons. Some of them because they're stutterers, some of them because they have a business and they want to help promote it. Some other people are salespeople and they want to be able to close more sales, so we're all there for different reasons. And this is the beauty of Toastmasters, because it doesn't matter what you're doing, it can add value to your life. So actually, which brings me to my next question. If there's somebody watching us right now who doesn't see any value in joining a public speaking group such as Toastmasters, what would you like to tell them?
Oh, there is huge value. You just need to look closer. There is value. Oh my goodness. Public speaking in general, communication and self-expression permeates our entire lives. Our whole existence is about expressing ourselves and communicating our message. So I would recommend truly to not look at Toastmasters and public speaking as a professional milieu, that a tool that you only use for negotiations, business, convincing others. It goes much, much beyond just that. It improves your relationship with others. It opens you up. I even remember when I just came to Canada, I was incredibly shy at parties, at social gatherings. Small talk was a torture. Getting to know people I didn't know was a torture. I was like, I don't know what to talk to them about. It was horrible. Now I couldn't care less. It's actually interesting to start throwing different questions to strangers, or pick different ideas from their answers and be like, oh, tell me more about that, or how about this? It becomes a game. And I'm fascinated to have this 10-year balance line when I can look back at how I used to be 10 years ago and what I'm right now, and realize that Toastmasters and public speaking opened me up in a big way.
Oh, yes.
And again, it affects your personal communications, but also professional. It has this trickle down effect. You show up differently in the meetings, at work, at professional interviews. Yeah, it's incredible.
Yes, it is. Oh God, so many things, so many nuggets, wonderful things that you just shared with us. I totally concur with you. Just for instance, I went from being very insecure, where when I first joined Toastmasters, I was trying to become more eloquent and more articulate, and I was speaking way too fast. I'm still speaking fast, but this is like the slowed down version. And I just became very, I have found the confidence necessary, because, we tried different roles, and I found so much confidence. I even started 2 YouTube channels, you understand? And I would have never had the audacity to do this and to even start a whole social media. I'm new to this whole thing, but it's a whole world that's opening up because I found the confidence to speak up, to use my voice, right? So this is what Toastmasters does. Yes. Okay. So what is the next step for Alexandra Shirokova?
Oh, that's a big question. It's a really big question. I'm still exploring myself in the storytelling and public speaking space. Mm-hmm. I haven't arrived by no means, and I feel that there is still so much to discover, so much to write about, different ways to write about. I'm not quite sure, but what I do know that Toastmasters has helped me in my professional expression a lot. I reached big milestones and generated some successes for my standards in my job. So I definitely will be leveraging the gifts of public speaking in my job, and using that to build relationships with different partners and develop better negotiation skills. I think my focus will be really two-sided. It's still navigating the Toastmasters journey, but also taking that as a tool and applying that outside. Just doing something with it, because again, it's not just about winning contests. It's not about ego boost by jumping from one contest to another. It's really about where do I want to take it, and I feel that I have a bigger purpose or a desire to self-express differently in my life. And at least for now, in the short term, it's going to be my professional expression, being more confident, being a better facilitator, moderator, relationship builder, which again, it's not an easy feast. It's all about confidence and channeling the right message. And that's what's for me. It lies for me in 2022 for sure, and maybe other years.
Yes, and I can't wait. I hope you'll be competing again. I'll be rooting for you again. Alex! So great. If someone from the audience would like to reach out to you, what is the best way to contact you?
They can connect with me via LinkedIn. I can be searched by Alexandra, Sasha, Shirokova. Very easy to find, and they can also send me an email. It's Sasha, SASHA _Shirokova @hotmail.com. Everybody's welcome to connect if you're interested. Thank you.
Wonderful. Okay, to wrap it up, for Alexandra, it all started with the desire to fight the overwhelming fear and become a confident communicator. But then it evolved into something much, much greater. Is there anything else you would like to share with us, Alexandra, before we go separate ways?
Well, first of all, I wanted to thank you for the time, for inviting me, Patricia, because this is fascinating. And I am so proud of you, of launching your channel, developing your channel, having this never-ending inspiration fountain, the stamina. You push yourself to the limits and you push others around yourself to the limits, which is fantastic. And I'm super grateful for you inviting me to partake in that. And that's one of the benefits of Toastmasters that we have discussed a little bit earlier. It's finding your tribe. It's finding people who give you wings, who elevate you, who inspire you. You might not necessarily find those in your immediate circle, but these people exist. And my thanks and gratitude goes out to you and to people like you, who, again, like a mosaic, they make me complete. They inspire me, and they also help me understand where I want to move. And this is just so fantastic when you look at your circle and at your day, and you know that, hey, I have colleagues and friends who are really amazing, who are not just standing still, who are moving forward, who have plans, who have visions, because I also have a vision. And when we have two visions together, it's always easier to plow through the grind. And even if it's hard, you know that someone is plowing through just as hard as you are. And hey, it's beautiful. So thank you for everything you do.
Thank you. I have to thank you, because when I reached out to you, I was just this random girl, and actually your speech made me so emotional when you gave it at the club, that I really felt like we connected right away. And I reached out to you, and you could have just not had the time. You're a very, very busy person, but we connected. So you made time, and you've helped me so much in so many speeches. You know which one. I sent you the link, and you looked at them, and because you're a wonderful evaluater. I don't know if we've actually mentioned this but you're actually a very solid evaluator. Really magnificent, actually. And you make me better, basically. So there's a whole road, it's a whole journey, but every time that I've spoken to you, every time that you've evaluated one of my speeches from the goodness of your heart, I've become better. So you're so wonderful. Thank you. I'm very, very grateful for having met you.
Thank you. Maybe just before we close, one thing that has just come to mind, and it might be interesting even for your viewers, the world of Toastmasters is so big, and sometimes you meet connections and people from different cities. We never even physically saw each other. And this is fascinating. This is peculiar in a way, because we are complete strangers in a sense, but just, energetically, when there is a spark and some people just notice each other, you connect, and the distance doesn't really matter. And that's another, just a beautiful the beautiful element that happened. Again, thanks to Toastmasters, when you notice someone, you just reach out. And from there, you develop friendship and connections with others. Again, you don't even need to be in the same city. They don't need to be in your immediate family, but they're just a phone call away, a Zoom call away, and it's crazy.
It is. You know, something even crazier is when you told me that we've never met physically. I said, what is she talking about? I see her all the time. But no, we don't. I actually didn't realize that we didn't see it. Okay, I know I sound completely crazy right now, but this is how comfortable I am. I feel like I've always known you. And it's true because the thing with Toastmasters, we can, when we're members, or even when you're not a member, you can visit a few clubs before you join. We can join any club. I could join a club in Saudi Arabia, in China, in France, anywhere in the world, and I'm welcome. And we have universal messages, and it's really a whole community of 364,000 members. So it's just wonderful. Great. At home, thank you so much for watching, for being with us. I hope you enjoyed getting to know this phenomenal lady and that she has brightened your entire week. And I will leave you with this: the power of your voice can change the world. Find it and use it. Until next time. Bye.